They boast a 6% decrease in cost within the D11 model, while ensuring that it still does all of the heavy lifting that you would expect. Advanced technologies are integrated into the dozer, creating smart machines and more informed operators to maximize the productivity of the operation that you'd be using it on. Plus, like with the other dozer I mentioned before, the D11 has a very comfortable cabin that's designed to reduce all the shocks and bumps that the dozer will face as it's going across the ground. And it has an easy-to-use system so that almost anyone can jump in and be on their way when it's time to start the job. Caterpillar knows how to get the job done, so if you're ever in the mood for a new dozer, well, this is one that you should definitely check out. Number 17. The Liebherr PR776. On to the next model we go, which in this case is the Liebherr PR776. This dozer is much like all the others that I've talked about so far, in that it's a rather large one that was designed to handle all sorts of terrains that need the earth moved. This diesel engine has been designed for tough mining and extraction operations, providing sufficient power to contend in any situation. That's not something that you think about when it comes to a dozer, but the land that you have to work on will determine what kind of dozer that you need to get. After all, not all pieces of land are the same both in size and composition, so if you're dealing with something that could require multiple styles, the Liebherr PR776 may just be the kind of dozer that you'll wish to go after. The dozer is so advanced that it will automatically change its settings for you so that it can best operate at maximum efficiency, which puts less stress and worry on the driver. Like many other dozers, this one has a special ripper attachment that goes well beyond the vehicles that could be used to expertly and precisely rip up the ground. It can even be turned so that you can get into a tight area without having to worry about getting stuck. In the end, every little bit helps. Number 16. The John Deere 1050K Dozer. While John Deere is a famous brand, that brand is typically known for dealing with farming equipment and not construction equipment. So why is it that they're making dozers? Well, why not? I mean, after all, if you're good at making something of the right kind of equipment, it's not the most odd thing in the world to apply your talents to another kind of vehicle. In the case of the John Deere 1050K dozer, they wanted to put their simple and easy-to-use stylings to the dozer feel, and so they've made some great things as a result. In this case, they optimized this ride so that it could get the job done while maintaining fuel consumption so that you don't blow through it. Fuel bills can be one of the most costly things on machines like this, so the less that you use, the better. Furthermore, they designed the John Deere 1050K so that should you need to do maintenance on it, you can just open up the panels on the side or front and get things accomplished. And for the driver, they've made it so that you can alter the dozer setting so that it fits the style of ride and the amount of power that you want to put out, making it an easy to customize ride. And yeah, John Deere makes dozers, but they appear to make really good ones as well. Number 15. The Shantui SD32W. As I've already stated, one of the biggest problems that construction workers or miners will face on the job is the very ground that they're trying to get into. They need to have the right kind of machinery to take on the various types of ground and rock that they face, and sometimes that means having a dozer that can handle extreme conditions. In the case of this one, it's literally what it was built for. The original model was fine, but then the company got some requests from people to make something that could handle more heavy-duty stuff like decomposed rocks or massive slabs of frozen ground. Depending on your location, ice can have a very damaging effect on your vehicle, and even a powerful dozer can have trouble moving frozen ground around. That's why this one is able not only to move the ground but also to rip it up. I mentioned ripper attachments with a previous model, and it's worth mentioning it again when you're dealing with frozen ground. The thing you have to do is literally stick a piece of metal into it, and then move your machine forward so that you can rip it up and force the ground to separate. Only then can you move forward and deal with pushing it out of the way. It's a time-consuming process, and that's why you need something big and heavy to push everything out of the way once it's ripped up. This thing can do both, and it can handle lighter jobs for when things finally get easier. Number 14. The Case 2050M Dozer. Even the companies who make these machines acknowledge that sometimes you need the biggest machine possible in order to get the job done so that you can move on to the next step. For the Case 2050M Dozer, that's exactly what they did. They wanted to make the biggest and most powerful dozer in its line so that they could be put on job sites where moving the most amount of dirt possible was required. Whether it's for land clearance, site development, or landfill operations, this dozer can suit your needs, and as it's happy to show on its website, it can also handle various kinds of inclines and terrain situations, like having to go up an incline as you push things around, or having to deal with water and wet ground that you're having to move around in. Case M Series dozers provide some of the industry's best sight lines down to the blade, the tracks and the worksite, with excellent visibility and lots of glass from floor to ceiling, a true positive pressure cab with advanced sealing that helps to keep out dirt, dust and noise. And when you're driving a machine like this, well, the last thing that you need is distractions from inside of the cabin that you're in. And so the Case team really knocked it out of the park with this one. It'll be interesting to see in the future if they try to go even bigger, and given how the construction field is, I wouldn't put it past them to try. Number 13. The Komatsu D65 EX18. Now I honestly wonder at times why some of these dozers have really complicated names when it's just a bit over the top. Maybe it's a pride thing or a branding thing. I'm not one to judge, but yes, I am here to talk about the Komatsu D65 EX18. But why is it labeled like that? One of the things that this particular dozer boasts isn't only the work that it can do, but the amount of time that it can do. After all, when you're putting things like dozers to intense labor day in and day out, well, it can not only cause machines woes, but it can also cause their lifespans to be put into question. The team behind this big beast promises that should you get it, you'll have a dozer that can do some earth moving for many years to come without skipping a beat. Part of the machine is even designed so that you can limit the wear and tear of constant work. It's very cool if it's true. This dozer also puts into use a very special engine that can help with lowering fuel costs even when it's idle, which happens much more than you may think. When you add that to a cabin that allows for easy controlling, a ride that can move on a dime depending on where you need to go, you can see why Komatsu is proud of their long-titled dozer. Number 12. The Caterpillar D6N. Here we're going to talk about the Caterpillar D6N, the latest in the line of Cat D6N dozers, which combines well-known versatility with a range of technology features to give the driver more job site productivity than ever before. A new transmission with lock-up clutch torque converter delivers ease of operation, increased net power, plus a 10 to 15% improvement in fuel efficiency. And that's a big deal, as we've already discussed. The more use you can get out of a dozer before you need to fill up again matters. Plus, the dozer's easy to use and control and can do all manner of jobs by itself. And if that's not enough for you, you can easily transport it from one job to the next, which again is something that just about every construction person wants. Another thing that this bulldozer has the ability to do is help a person with their specific job by customizing it and optimizing it for the ground that they're working on. And so they can put on special buckets or types of rippers on the back in order to help make things even more smooth. If not apparent by now, the Caterpillar people know how to make these kind of machines, and they're always looking for new ways to grow products and make them better. Number 11. The New Holland D180. There are plenty of things that we can talk about with the New Holland D180 dozer, but let's begin with the cabin so that you can further understand the lengths that these companies will go to with the goal of making operating the machines easier while keeping the ride more comfortable. First and foremost, the cabin features. special monitors that will not only help to keep constant track of the vitals of the dozer, but instantly report when something is wrong. I mean, after all, you want to know what's going on with your dozer 100% of the time, or if something is wrong that you don't understand, it will give you a warning so that you can bring in someone who does. There's also plenty of customizable elements to the cabin, which includes adjusting your seats and armrests, and having true ease with handling the controls for the dozer and the blade itself. Speaking of controlling the dozer, the New Holland D180 has two different kinds of steering systems, which will help you depending on your driving style. The dozer was also designed so that it would have great clearance from the ground, and limit any potential damages to the stuff beneath the main body, and good stability so that there's an ease of motion as you walk through the dirt. Add all that to the ease in which you can fix things once the vehicle inevitably goes down, and you'll have an all-around great dozer that many people would love to have. Number 10. The Mitsubishi BD2G. Here I'm talking about one such ride that Mitsubishi has made, the BD2G. Now, while not the biggest that we've seen so far, it is one that does get the job done. It can move tons of dirt at max capacity, and like others on this list, you can get it attached with special things to handle all the various kinds of dirt and earth and everything else that you're going to send it to. Now sure, you may want something a little bigger for your particular job, but depending on your site, it may just be the perfect thing for your operation. Number 9. Komatsu D155AX8. The Komatsu D155AX8 is a powerful and versatile dozer that's designed for heavy-duty earth-moving and construction applications. It has a robust construction, along with quite advanced technology, and it offers exceptional performance in very demanding terrain and working conditions. Like a lot of modern-day construction equipment, it features a spacious cabin that is ergonomic and all of the other fancy things which allows the driver to enjoy a long day at work. This dozer features an intelligent control system and efficient powertrain that ensures all the optimal productivity and fuel efficiency that you'll want, with a durable undercarriage and blade design, which enables it to tackle tough jobs with ease. This is a dozer that's meant to move earth and do it in a hurry, and you can rely on it and its powerful blade to get everything done without any issues. That includes if you need to rip up the ground so that you can get to moving everything. There are light touches like a rear-facing camera which allows you to have total vision of everything so that you know what you're doing at all times, and that kind of awareness can be a godsend when it comes to a busy work site. Number 8. The Caterpillar D8T. The CAT D8T dozer has a long history of outstanding versatility, productivity, and resale value. Because this bulldozer excels across a wide range of tasks, customers choose the D8T for everything from dozing, ripping, scraper work, and land clearing, all the way to finish grading. So that's proof that this dozer gets things done, because it's used everywhere, and people from all over are more than happy to give it praise. It's nice to be loved every now and again now, isn't it? But don't let that patting on the back fool you. This really is a good dozer, and Caterpillar outfitted it with their latest technology so that they would have the best fuel consumption rates, keep the driver comfortable, and all of the other good and glorious things that you've seen so far. Seriously, Caterpillar cannot be praised enough, because they have a history of building these machines in the correct way, and that's the kind of safety blanket that you want when you give new members of your crew this vehicle to get the job done. Number 7. The John Deere 850K. What sets the John Deere 850K apart from other dozers is the brand loves to boast that their vehicle can get all sorts of work done without all of the extra effort that other vehicles will need. State-of-the-art electronics will put the operator in complete command of an arsenal of production-boosting hydrostatic advantages that includes power turns, counter-rotating tracks, power management, and infinitely variable travel speeds. That is a whole lot of words to say, and a whole lot of things that I don't understand. The more control that you have of the machine that you're in, well, the more likely you're going to be able to get the thing to do exactly what you want when you wanted to do it. On a construction or mining site, that can be the difference between getting the job done and getting the job done right. Number 6. Shantui SD16. The Shantui brand comes from China, and they're very proud of their brand, even talking about how it is the #1 construction brand in China and number 5 in the entire world. Or, at least that's what their website claims. I'm not really sure how much that I can trust things that I see on the internet these days. Anyway, what makes the Shantui SD16 so interesting is not only the various sizes and weight loads that it can be and push, but what it was made for. This dozer was specifically made for South American countries like Guatemala, Argentina, Peru, Mexico, Ecuador, and El Salvador. Now, is that a little oddly specific? Well, yeah, maybe, but what's key to note here is that while mining does take place in South America, the more tropical the climate, the more it can cause havoc for modern machines that rely on power above everything else. So instead, this one tailors itself to handle the somewhat questionable terrain so that it can help those with the tasks that they need to get done. Number 5. The Case 1650M. The Case 1650M is built for heavy dozing and ripping with a variety of track and blade options along with configurations that are designed to keep the machine pushing forward, even in the toughest of conditions. But, equally as important, they've ensured that the owner and driver can customize the bride and how it runs to fit their needs and style. You can even give the dozer special fits to further suit your needs, and they even use a special recognition system with its emissions in order to guarantee that all the power the dozer is creating and providing is going to the blade and the tracks for maximum power and efficiency. Number 4. The Chetra T40. Now we head over to Russia to talk about a dozer that they've created. They don't really talk about their mining operations as much as other places, but this one is used for gold and coal mining operations, and one of the reasons for that is because it's rather large. To provide the best traction and characteristics, the special carriage suspension was designed in combination with a powerful engine and huge capacity dump. These technical solutions allowed to achieve the highest performance and operator comfort. Number 3. The Caterpillar D7. Here we have the Caterpillar D7, which is different from the D7R. Caterpillar saw the inefficiencies that the D7R was doing, and they designed an overhaul in the best of ways. That's why the D7 is the superior model, with a blade that can push up to 11% more dirt than its counterpart. You're also going to be quite comfortable when you sit in its cabin and have complete control over this dozer as you're guiding it from one part of the job site to the next. Companies take their products quite seriously, and that also means sometimes fixing what you didn't do well before. Number 2. The New Holland C362. When it comes to this bulldozer, they're not trying to be the biggest one around. They're trying to be the one that you'll use when you need to get a relatively big job done on land that you'll likely are only tending by yourself. They specifically point out that this is the perfect vehicle for places like a farm or a rental property that you're trying to work over and improve. Plus, if you go to New Holland's website, you're going to find that there are plenty of customizable options to build your perfect dozer to suit your needs. And if you need something that's compact yet powerful, you may want to give this one a shot. Number 1. Alice Chalmers HD41. You may think that all the biggest dozers these days are built in recent times, but in 1972, a very special and large dozer was created. That would be the Alice Chalmers HD41. It was so large, in fact, that it got the attention of two gentlemen many years later after one was abandoned, and they couldn't believe how big that it was, even when compared to something like the D9. The HD41 was first produced in 1970, and at around 65 tons, it was considered to be the largest crawler tractor of its day. The men in the story not only found it, but they saved it, repaired it, and then showed it around at tractor shows so that this Big Roy would not go to waste once again. Big Roy was quite the impressive machine, featuring a massive engine with a whole load of raw power, a heavy-duty undercarriage, and a track system that provided stability and traction on any terrain. It was also equipped with quite the formidable blade, which could move large volumes of earth without a whole lot of effort. It had advanced hydraulic systems offering precise control and efficient operation, along with a spacious cabin that ensured the operator had a lot of comfort during many long hours of work. With its maximum operating weight, Big Roy was a formidable machine that was capable of handling even the most demanding earth-moving tasks with both ease and precision. Well, that's all from the realm of bulldozers and the incredible sizes that they get to, and the abilities that they have through that size. Were you impressed by these dozers? Which ones do you think were almost too big? Or perhaps there's another bulldozer that should have been on this list. Be sure to let me know all about it in the comment section down below. Check out the other cool things that are showing up on the screen, and I will see you next time.